and also through the online Zoom platform. I thank the temple management for arranging such beautiful classes, Srila Prabhupada 125th year celebrations and Radhashtami Mahotsav. I sincerely express my gratitude to all the temple committee members to purify Krishna and to purify my own consciousness. Although I am not mature enough 10 minutes, but still whatever little I have learned from our parampara and understood them by the grace of Guru Maharaj and by him. So I'll just start with the Kirtan and then we will take up the Hare Krishna. Jaya. हरे कृष्णा। माता जी जरा आप लोग सोशल डिस्टेंसेस बना के बैठिए, तो आप लोग एक एक जहां जहां ब्लू है वहां पे थोड़ा सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग लगा के बैठिए। हरे कृष्णा। विल स्टार्ट द कीर्तन। जय कुंज बिहारी जय युग धर्म हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमंस प्रियराजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर श्रीमद अभय चरणारविंदेसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शील प्रपाद की जय। कृष्ण कृपा मूर्ति शील प्रपाद की जय। इस्कॉन फाउंडर आचार्य शील प्रपाद की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमंस प्रियराजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर श्रीमद भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज प्रपाद ठाकुर की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य शील हरदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि श्री गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। जय श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरी गोवर्धन धाम की जय। वृंदावन मथुरा गोकुल द्वारका धाम की जय। नवदीप मायापुर धाम की जय। पुण्य क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। गंगा माई यमुना माई की जय। भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय। सामवेद भक्त वृंद की जय। ऑल ग्लोरीज टू assembled devotees हरे कृष्ण। ऑल ग्लोरी टू assembled devotees हरे कृष्ण। ऑल ग्लोरीज टू assembled devotees हरे कृष्ण। all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Hare Krishna. I once again thank all the devotees. We'll start off with the class. Today the topic has been chosen is Putana's Deliverance. We'll just pray to Lord and start the class. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tatho Jayam Udiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtake. Hare Krishna. Shri Shuka Vacha Nandapati Vacha Shauche Namrisheti Vichintayan Harim Jagama Sharanam Utpatagama Sankita. Translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki dwara Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shukdev Goswami continued, my dear king, while Nanda Maharaja was on the way home, he considered that what Vasudeva had said could not be false or useless. There must be some danger of disturbance in Gokula. As Nanda Maharaja thought about the danger for his beautiful son Krishna, he was afraid and he took shelter at the lotus feet of the Supreme Controller. Om Ajnanatimidandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manubhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalitam Shri Vishakam Vitamsya. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namustate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Prishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So see, this we have started the class with the purport which is from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10 and text number 1 of the 6th chapter. So it is the shloka where Nanda Maharaja, while returning from prison after meeting Vasudeva and Devaki, he was thinking in the mind. So he continued, he said, my dear, so he was thinking and contemplating. So what Prabhupada says, like, Sukadeva Goswami continued, my dear king, while Nanda Maharaja was on the way home, he considered that what Vasudeva had said could not be false or useless. there must have been some danger or disturbance in Gokula. As Nanda Maharaja thought about the danger for his beautiful son Krishna, he was afraid and he took the shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. So Prabhupada explains that whenever there is danger, the pure devotee thinks that for protection and shelter, he has to approach to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is also advised in Bhagavad Gita in the 9th chapter, 33 shloka, Anityam Asukham Lokam Imam Prapsya Bhajasva Mam. So in this material world, there are dangers at every step. We call it as Padam Padam Yad Vipatam Natesha. So at every step, there is a lot of dangers. Therefore, devotee has no other recourse than to take shelter of the Lord at the every doorstep. So chapter 6 of the Krishna book, the title is Putana killed. But the actual mystery is that she was delivered and elevated. Why and how? We will understand today in next 40-45 minutes. One may ask, what is the benefit of studying this Putana deliverance? है ना? इस पूतना राक्षसी के बारे में जानकारी हासिल करके हमें क्या लाभ हो सकता है? So for the lab, actually we have to again go back to Shukdev Goswami, where in the 44th shloka of the 10th canto, 6th chapter, he has mentioned, Ya etat putana moksham Krishnasya bharmakadbhutam shrunuyat shuddhaya martyo govinde labate ratim. Any person who hears the faith with faith and devotion about how Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, killed Putana, and who thus invest his hearing in such childhood pastimes of Krishna, certainly attains attachment to Govinda, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Govinde labate ratim. Ye jo word used by Govinde labate ratim. That means attachment to Govinda's lotus feet. So कृष्ण के चरणों में रति और मति लग जाती है, यही लाभ है इस पूतना मोक्ष को, यदि आप गौर से सुनते हो. और तो अगले 40-45 मिनट में हम कोशिश करेंगे कि इस पूतना से हम जो पूतना के पास टाइम को सुनकर हम इसका मति और गति हम कैसे उसमें लगा सकते हैं. So in next 45 minutes we will see, by hearing the pastimes of Putana, how can we get prema of Lord Govinda? Govinde labate ratim. कैसे बच्चे जरा आवाज कर रहे हैं थोड़ा. Everything in this material world can easily be attained. Purushartha says, you do little hard work, then you can earn wealth, you can earn property, you can get a husband, you can get wife, you can get children, etc. But it is very difficult to get the love for Godhead. Srila Rupa Goswami, our Sampradaya Acharya in Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, while defining the 6 characteristics of Bhakti, says, Bhakti is Sudurlabha. Sudurlabha, which means it is not only rare, but very rarely to be achieved. We all know the 6 characteristics which is mentioned in Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. Kleshagni Shubhada Moksha, Lagutakrita, Sudurlabha, Sandrananda Visheshatma, Sri Krishna Akarshini. Apart from this, Narad Muni has also said in his Narada Sutra, Satsangamam Sudurlabham. It is very difficult to get pure association of devotees. Love, faith and reverence towards God is not a commodity which can be purchased in the market or in the shop. You cannot get love, devotion and all those in the market. Buy 1 kg love, 1 kg devotion, you cannot get that. It can only be attained by the grace or mercy of listening to Hari Katha or Bhagavad Katha. What to say of more? Lord Krishna has so many qualities. In fact, he is mine of infinite qualities. And we call it a Sarvaguna Sampanna. Though this term Sarvaguna Sampanna is not properly used in India, it is used for the wrong terms, but actually it means us from the infinite qualities. Krishna has infinite qualities. That's the reason he is called Sarvaguna Sampanna. From these infinite qualities, the biggest of the quality is the quality of mercy. And we can get a chance only under this quality. If you check your background, or if you check our background, or say if I check my background, I will notice that I am not at all eligible to get mercy of Krishna. But it is only and only because of the compassion vision of Krishna we get subdued to his mercy factor and then get a chance to go to his abode. Coming to today's context, it is exhaustively detailed in chapter 6, as I mentioned, of Krishna book, and also in the sixth chapter of the Canto 10. The story goes, where Nanda Maharaja, the king of Vraja, on his way to Gokula, after meeting Vasudeva in jail, at Mathura, was constantly thinking about Vasudeva's words concerning disturbance in Gokula. Certainly, the advice given by Vasudeva was friendly and not false, Srila Prabhupada had written. So Nanda Maharaja thought, there must be some truth, because when Vasudeva has said this, there must be some truth. Actually, how did Vasudeva say? Because just 6 days before, Vasudeva has left Krishna at Nanda Maharaja's place, and the development within the 6 days, he was able to hear at the prison and in Mathura, where Kams was already planning so many plans. So based on that, he said, I feel there is some anishta which is going to happen, so you please go there. So Nanda Maharaja was very much in a haste, walking back to home. And in the meantime, he was just contemplating on Hari, maybe my son, let him be safe. Nothing should happen to him. In this way, he was thinking, and he was just walking towards Gokul. So Srila Prabhupada says it is quite natural for a devotee to, in danger, to think of Krishna, because he has no other shelter. As I defined before, 9.33, Anityam Asukham Lokam Imam Prapsyasya Vajasva Mam. So in this world, there is no other shelter which we can take. Padam Padam Yad Vipatam. So there is no other shelter which we can take. So the lesson we get here is a devotee has no other recourse other than to take the shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord at every step. So Sukadeva Goswami defines that after consulting the various demoniac ministries, Kansa instructed a witch named Putana, who could know the black art of killing children, very small children, in a very ghastly and sinful method. So she used to kill the children and drink away their blood. So Bal Ghatini, Sukadeva Goswami used the word Bal Ghatini, which means she used to kill the children and drink their blood directly. So Putana used to, and she used to stay where? She used to stay in the outer space. Akash mein, she used to stay in the outer space, and wandering through the sky, one day she entered Gokula in the disguise of a very beautiful woman. स्त्री का भेष धारण कर कर वह पूतना बाल गातिनी गोकुल में प्रवेश कर गई. तो श्लोक आता है, सखेचरी एकतोत्पत्य पूतनानंद गोकुलम योषित्वा माययात्मानं प्रविशात कामचारिणी. श्रील प्रभुपाद लिखते हैं, such witches are called khechari. Khechari ka meaning the one who can fly in the sky, and they know the black art of witchcraft, which even today in India it is practiced. If you go to Northeast, there are some persons who practice this black witch art, and they can transfer themselves from sitting at one place to another place, or they can uproot the branch of a tree. So Putana knew this witchcraft so well, and that is the reason why she is described as Khechari in the Bhagavatam. So listening to this, the moment Sukadeva Goswami defined Khechari, Bal Ghatini, Sukadeva Parikshit Maharaj went into panic mode, as if panic button has stricken to him. What? And he became very perturbed. He said, what would happen? What's going to happen now? This Khechari, would she kill Krishna? Why? Because he was so engrossed. So all of you know what engrossed is. So engrossed means magna hokar. In Hindi we call it as magna hokar. So why he was engrossed? Like, you may also feel, sometimes you may have a dream, and in dream you may find some near and dear ones, have gone for outing, and suddenly the leg slipped and someone fell from the cliff. Okay. You may have such kind of dream, and suddenly you start shouting, ah, okay. And you get up from the sleep. So, and then you find, this was a dream. So what was the case? You went into the dream. So you became magan into the dream, that, even when the dream, you were coming out of the dream, you were still in that mode. So similarly, some people go in those mode when they watch movies, they themselves place in the character's role, and they themselves also think that, we are also the same character. So those are all material things. But here, Parikshit Maharaj also went into that mode, and he was engrossed in the Bhagavad Gita. So in the anxiety, what happened? He started fearing. Then Shukadev Goswami says, cool down, Parikshit, nothing, don't worry about Putana. Wherever people are performing their constitutional duties or say occupational duties of devotional service by chanting or listening to Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, or chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, which we say, then there is no danger of any evil elements. So there is no need to worry about Gokula while Krishna is personally present there. So we get one more lesson here with this, that wherever the names of the Supreme Lord are being chanted, the demonic powers does not work there. So if you are chanting regularly Hare Krishna Maha Mantra at home, and when you are having the deity worship, listening to Srimad Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, then be rest assured that there is no demonic power which would work there, and the Supreme Lord is always present there. So Putana arrived in Gokul wandering in the sky. So that's fine. But how did she look like? So in one line, if I have to define, then I would recollect what Lal Govind Prabhu had said, कि आज की कोई स्त्री जब ब्यूटी पार्लर में 3 घंटे बिताने के बाद जैसे दिखती है वैसे दिखती थी. So Putana exactly looked like woman of today's time who comes out of the beauty parlor after spending 3 hours. How? Scattered hair, with golden brown castings of hair. In the starting when I showed the picture was the same thing. It's golden brown casting of hair, long nails with the sharp edge, and naturally painted with blood, red color. You may have to use some nail paints and all those which are man-made and not natural, but she used to naturally use the blood of the children. Then they were naturally red. I'm not saying all this. This is all said in the Shastras. So such an elusive, monstrous Putana changed her form and entered Gokula in the disguise of an gopi. So Sukdev Goswami has described her disguised form in many verses. She was wearing a gopi dress. She was wearing a gajra made up of very beautiful malati flowers. She was having, she had worn the Urdhva Pundra Tilak, and she was wearing a kantimala in her neck, and she was holding a lotus flower in her hand. And apart from that, many things have been mentioned in the various text in which Sukdev Goswami had mentioned. While she was walking on the streets of Gokula, she was glancing on every resident of Vrindavana, and and the residents were so captivated by her looks. So the innocent cowherd boys or women thought that she was goddess of fortune, Lakshmi. Sakshat Lakshmi has come to Vrindavan to meet her husband Narayan. So Acharya comments here, look at the bhav, the mellow of the Vrajbasis. The bhav of the Vrajbasis is such that they see a demon also in the form of Lakshmi. And what is our bhav? Even if an actual Sakshat Lakshmi comes and sits beside us, we may think it is some kind of Navtavki. It's maybe she wants to rob me, she wants to steal me. So the bhava here is important. So what is the bhava? That one who has to see with equal vision. So they were looking, Brajavasis were looking with an equal vision to the demoness as well as the normal people. So one has to learn that one has to be gentle and has to look with equal vision to a brahmana, to a cow, to an elephant or a dog. It is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Kavi Hastini Shuni Chaiva Shupakecha Pandita Samadarshina. So this is the third lesson which we learn, that we have to bhava we need to have that mellow of looking at equal vision for all of them, or every living entity. So Putana then entered Yashoda Maiya's house, and Yashoda Maiya and Rohini were singing Krishna. She requested Yashoda Maiya in a very sweet, loving voice that I want to serve Krishna. So Yashoda considered it as a good fortune, because she also thought probably Sakshat Lakshmi has come to serve Kanhaiya, and she had some work. So she said, okay, you can be with Lalla for some time, and I will just go out and come. So Putana slowly came towards Krishna in the front and just had a glance at him. So Shukdev Goswami writes that, that 6 days old Krishna, when he saw Putana, he closed his eyes immediately. Sa nimilitaha ikshanaha. Hare Krishna. No, stop. I think so. I had stopped the screen because there was some issue with that. It was not being duplicating. So Putana slowly comes in front of Krishna and glances at him. So Krishna closes his eyes. Sa nimilitaha ikshanaha. So he closed his eyes. So why did he close his eyes? There are many reasons, so we may analyze some of the reasons. Krishna thought, my purpose, the purpose of Krishna's incarnation is what? Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkutam dharma sansthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. So I have to come to annihilate the miscreants and, to establish dharma. But all that is fine. But she's Putana, she's a woman, and woman has to be protected as per Shastra. And I have to kill her. Why should I start my opening innings, of killing a woman? Because same thing in Ramayana also, what happened? Ramayana also, the opening innings started by killing Tadaka. So maybe if I close my eyes, she would just go away, thinking that I had, thinking that I have slept. She might have go away. So she might go away. That was one of the reasons. Second reason was Putana, with the incident of with the intent of deceit, came to see Krishna in a disguised form. However, whoever goes to see Krishna with a good intent, Krishna reciprocates by seeing them. But he does not see them who goes with an intent of deceiving, with a deceptive spirit. So that is why Krishna closed his eyes. Okay, we may say Krishna is anyway our cross-legged boy. He is anyway, we can call it a form of crooked. He stands in a Tribhanga form. His behavior is expected out of this, we may say. But what about Lord Ramchandra? He is very straightforward. But still in Sundarkand he says, Nirmal manjan so moi pava, moi kapat chal chidra na bhava. So the Supreme Lord is visible to devotees who are pure at mind and spirit. That is like a sadhu. Dealings of a sadhu are both same, the inside as well as outside. But what are our dealings? We may pose very good outside, but we may be very harsh or rotten from inside. We may also apply tilak. We may also, say in front of others, behave very nicely, say yes, Prabhu, no, Prabhu, but at the same time, at the reverse, we may blaspheme others. So there is a lesson here with this, that Krishna ignores the person with deceitful mentality. He never tolerates a Vaishnava aparadh. Because when you are talking ill about a Vaishnava behind him, even mentally if you are thinking, then it amounts to a Vaishnava aparadh, and Krishna never tolerates blasphemy of Vaishnavas. One more reason, Putana here represents avidya, the darkness, mode of ignorance we call it as. And avidya cannot stand in front of the vidya, which is light. So as soon as there is a light, the avidya, the darkness has to dissipate. So Krishna is the ultimate truth. And in front of Krishna's eyes, how can the avidya stand? So avidya, this is the lesson. So Krishna is the ultimate truth, and this is the true vidya. Then also, one more reason is relationship to be established. How can you establish a relationship in material world? We'll talk. In material world, how do you establish a relationship? By making your contact with your eyes. Okay. So when you want to talk to somebody, or you have to develop a prem sambandh with anybody or talk to anybody, you need to establish a contact with your eyes. Maybe Krishna didn't wanted to establish a relationship with Putana, and so he closed his eyes. So what is the relationship here? Our relationship here with Krishna? Jivara Swarup hoy, Krishna Nityadas. And this relationship can be established by serving Krishna and having his darshan at the temple. So nice, beautiful deities. One more reason was that, Putana came to him applying the dangerous Kalakuta poison on her breast with an intent to kill Krishna. Therefore, closing the eyes, Krishna was meditating. It is said that, Acharya said, Krishna was meditating on Lord Shiva. That, oh Shiva, I eat milks and curds and butter. But this Putana has brought poison, which is actually the practice of drinking poison is very well suited to you. So where your favorite food is here. I eat only milk, curds and butter, but your favorite food, the poison is here. So the practice of drinking poison is, during the Samudra Manthan time, Shiva had drank the poison which came out of the manthan. So Krishna is the Supreme Lord and Shiva is the Supreme Devotee. Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambho. Whenever the subject of poison is addressed, it is Shiva who has accepted it. Since centuries, devotees have been serving the Supreme Lord. So here also we get a very good lesson that like Lord Shiva, we may also have to drink poison in our daily life. We may have to offer milk and curds and butter to Krishna, but we may have to accept poison from others. People may think ill about us. They may taunt us in different ways. So never think that, oh, I do so much of devotion, but there is always sorrow in my life. This sorrow or suffering, this poison, is only devotees can drink. Who else can drink? So Lord Shiva is becoming a role model here and giving us inspiration that, we also should have to drink this poison in our day-to-day life in whatever manner. It could be boss, it could be any reason. So one more interpretation is that Krishna closed his eyes because simply he took Putana to be his nurse. Putana to be his nurse. Putana came to Krishna to offer milk, and Krishna was so merciful that even though he knew Putana, that she's going to kill him, he treated him like his nurse or mother. So Srila Prabhupada writes in the purports that, there are 7 kinds of mother according to Vedic injection. The real mother is the one. Second is the wife of a teacher or a spiritual master. Third is the wife of a king. Fourth is the wife of a brahmana. Fifth is the cow. Sixth is Dhatri, the Dhai, this is nurse. And last is the Mother Earth. So all the 7 has to be respected. So because Putana came here to take Krishna on her lap and offer milk to be sucked by him, she was accepted by Krishna as one of his mothers. So as a nurse actually. So that is why he think, in front of the nurse, why should I keep my eyes open? He closed his eyes. One more last reason, and we'll close these reasons here. So one more last reason, it is this is the rasa which everybody can enjoy. A mother tells children not to eat any outside food. You might also, you will fall sick. That's what they say. You may also tell children that, please don't eat chocolates outside. Otherwise your teeth will go bad. So here Krishna also thought that this Putana is forcefully feeding me with outside food, the Kalkut poison. And mother says, if I honor this, I may fall sick. So on a lighter note, Krishna thinks that, so no matter how big the disease is, let me also do some Ramdev's yoga. So let me also do some Ramdev's yoga that will cure it. How? Putana will feed me an outside food. So let me do yoga before that. Anulom, Vinom, Pranayam, all those you do. I don't know, I've been doing, but I don't reduce. So, so what did he, for doing that, what do you do? First, you close your eyes and you go into a pranayama mode and then say, oh, you have to do some kind of meditation or take some kind of names and then you have to do your exercise. So that's what Krishna was doing. That was on the lighter note. So whatever be the reason, Krishna, in fact, seeing Putana, had closed his eyes. So Putana came to Krishna and then Sukadeva Goswami writes, that's just as no one can see the coal covered with ashes, and when he picks up the coal in the hands gets burned. Similarly, Putana did not recognize that Krishna in a baby form, though from outside, he considered him to be a very ordinary child, a 6-day-old child, but she did not realize that the child was none other than Kal. What Kal? In fact, he was Kal of Kal, the Mahakal. He was a Mahakal. So she took her death personified into her own hands and brought him closer to freed. So Krishna is our so sweet Lord that whoever gives him anything with love and devotion, he accepts. Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam, we also know. Yome Bhaktya Prayachati. So anything one who gives with love and devotion, he accepts. Otherwise, why would have he accepted to drink the milk of Putana, who eats the blood as well as meat? But no, this is the glory of the Supreme Lord. Krishna started sucking the milk, and with the milk, the Kalkut poison, and along with that, he also drank the life air of the demon. In other words, Krishna sucked the milk, simultaneously sucked the milk, and also killed her by sucking her the life force. So Sri Vallabhacharya of the Pushti Marg writes that, it's a very, he has given a very beautiful comment on this, that Krishna drinking Putana's life means Putana, who killed hundreds and thousands of children, and those children were in his life, in her life. When she killed and drank the blood of those children, the children's life were in Putana's life. So Krishna, by sucking the life of Putana, he was giving the Sayujya Mukti, liberation, to all those children whom Putana had killed. So it's a very deep message. In this way, the Lord started drinking Putana's life, and she started to suffer very badly, and she started crying very loudly. Samuncha munchalam iti prabhashini nishpidyamalikhila jiva marmini vivritta netra charanam bhujau muhu pravasinna gatra kshipati rurodha. Being pressed on the vital points, Putana's all the 8 limbs started trembling with unbearable pain. She started screaming, Samuncha, Samunchalam, hey, leave me, Krishna, leave me. But our Supreme Lord, by nature, he does not leave anyone so easily. First of all, to get him requires a lot of efforts. You all know, you have to get up for Mangala Aarti, have your 16 rounds done in the day, perform austerities, perform Ekadashi Vrat, today's Ekadashi, offer bhoga to him, associate with devotees, and then sometimes, you can get mercy of him by through devotees and all those. So, but once you get him, then, he does not leave you so soon. So that is why Putana was screaming, Krishna, leave me, because the pain was increasing beyond her control. And at this time, she left her Gopi Vesha and came back to her original witch Swarupa, so the Rakshasi form. And she left the house, and she started running out of the house into the garden and into the streets and out of Raja. And she kept screaming very loudly, leave me, Krishna, leave me. She anyhow wanted to get rid of Krishna, but at the same time, Krishna also thought that I am also ready today to deliver you at any cost. So she was running, and the scenery is defined in Bhagavatam that, as if all the entire earth with its mountain and the outer planets started trembling, and also the lower planets in all the directions started vibrating. They also trembled, and people started falling down, fearing as if thunderbolts are falling upon them. So she kept running until the point where she reached huge Kamsa's garden in Rajgopala. So Kamsa had a garden in Rajgopala also. And until the point she ran there, and that is the time when Krishna said, yeah, this is the point. He gave a final attack to Putana and finally sucked her vital life force. And then she fell on the ground like a huge mountain, spreading her hands in her very demonic form, smashing all the trees of the garden, which Kamsa had very beautifully erected, for his own seva. So the length of Putana at that time when she fell was measuring to about 12 miles, approximately 20 kilometers long. Such long was Putana at that time. And when she fell, Prabhupada writes, she exactly fell like Vrittasura when he was struck by the thunderbolt of Indra. So we may not discuss the Vrittasura here, but it is mentioned to give to just an idea. When Putana fell on her terrible body description were mentioned in many verses of Bhagavatam as to how her form was, her mouth which had very big teeth, her every part of the body looked like a huge mountain, eyes appeared like deep well, so nostrils were so huge. So the environment which was created by her falling was, as if a huge earthquake has shook. In fact, it was an earthquake when she had fallen. The entire world started, all the 3 worlds shook. So it was a huge earthquake, and the environment was really very for looking at it was very pitiable, just. So who was this Putana? Why did she have to do this act? Who was she? So Putana in her previous life was known as Ratnamala, and she was sister of Bali Maharaj. When Lord appeared in his dwarf form of Vamana Deva, and when he approached Bali Maharaj to ask the 3 steps, at that time, she fell in love with him. She was sister and she was watching Vamandev coming. She fell in love with him and said, what a wonderful boy. I wish I was his mother. So she already wished that she wanted to be the mother of this child. But when she saw that he had manipulated Bali Maharaj and stole everything in the name of 3 steps, then her feelings started turning into hatred. And then what did she say? I wish I could kill that boy. So this is the reason why Vamana comes as Krishna and Ratnamala comes as Putana, who tried to kill Krishna and play the role of his mother and by poisoning through the milk. So Bhavagrahi Janardana, Krishna is the Bhavagrahi Janardana. Whatever is your Bhava, Krishna reciprocates to that Bhava. So she wanted to be the mother of Krishna and also wanted to kill Krishna. So both those Bhavas were fulfilled in this birth. So in this way, Putana was killed, but the mystery here is that she was not killed, she was delivered and elevated. Well, killing is meant for only those persons who are supposed to be sent to hell, but here Krishna had, by killing Putana, had sent her to Vaikuntha Loka and awarded her the best title of his mother. So when Uddhavji was narrating the story to Mahatma Vidur in Vrindavana, tears came out of his eyes. He started saying, Aho bakiyam stanakalakutam jingham sapayayadapi sadvi lebe gatim dhatri uchitam tatonyam kamva dayalum sharanam rajeva. Vidura says, I am thinking how merciful Krishna is. How Krishna gave away a place of mother through that demon Putana, who wanted to kill when he was just 6 days old by poisoning, that too with the Kalput poison. So merciful he is. So when he is so merciful to that Putana, why should I not take shelter of the Supreme Lord? He would be much more merciful to us. So same thing, this applies to us also. Why should we not surrender to him? So this is also a lesson which we can learn that, in order to surrender for getting the mercy of Krishna, we should surrender only to Krishna, no other demigods or demigoddesses. So Putana actually in this life, when she had come as a witch, she was sister of Bakasura, and who was known as Baki, and she was also known as Baki. She came to kill Krishna, which was a cowardly act, but Krishna said, okay, you show your cowardice, how much you can be a coward, you can show your entire cowardness, but I will also give you my extreme mercy. So Krishna demonstrated the highest level of mercy against Putana. Putana had shown demonstrated wickedness, but then Krishna demonstrated the fullest mercy. Krishna has many pastimes and which gives mercy to us, but he had spent maximum of his mercy in this pastime of Putana. So all the people of Raja came running. Yashoda and Rohini, they also came running, and when they saw all the scene, that a huge mountain like Putana, and they both in fact fainted. All other gopis, somehow or the other, they climbed on the top of the Putana, which was like a mountain. To climb a mountain, they were not mountaineers, but they dared to climb the mountain, and somehow or the other they could see Krishna is alive there, and they brought Krishna. So anybody can ask a question like, gopis did not get frightened while climbing the huge mountain-like body of Putana? The answer is no. Why? Because Krishna was their life. Krishna was gopis' lives, and to get him out of trouble, gopis could have done anything. है ना, मैं तुम्हारे लिए कुछ भी कर जाऊंगा, आसमान से चांद सितारे तोड़ लाऊंगा. All those things are only for this material world. Gopis actually have demonstrated that for a person who is your life, whom you love the most, you can do anything. So without fearing, they climbed up the huge mountain-like body of Putana and brought down Krishna. And when Yashoda regained consciousness, she purified Krishna by many auspicious rituals. She bathed him with cow urine, applied cow dung, sprinkled the dust created by the hoofs of the cows, which we call it as Godhuli, and then she called the Brahmanas and made them to recite all this Swasti Vachana. Srila Prabhupada gives, in fact, a detailed list, in fact, like, when she calls each Vishnu name, and each Vishnu name had some protection to be given to Krishna. So in this way, by making Swasti Vachana and invoking all the Vishnu mantras for Krishna's protection, that was done. So anybody can have a question. So why all these rituals? Because we say you become spiritual. then why this rituals has to be done? So this is because Bhagavatam is giving you an indication that why it is important to have a cow in our house as per Vedic Sanatana civilization. The importance of cow has been specified. So this is the lesson here. Krishi Goraksha Vanijyam Vaishya Karma Swabhavajam in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says. So one must have a cows in his own house. Because this Gaumutra and the cow dung which comes out of a cow acts as an antiseptic. So by raising the cows at home, there will not only be scarcity of food at home, but at the same time there will be a lot of abundance of milk, curds, ghee, everything, and it could be a best source for trade. And once they trade them, they would also increase their standard of living, or say they could get their food grains which they can have. So cow is an integral part of every family member. This is the important point. That is the reason today we have forgotten that culture. So Go Raksha, which was our culture, that became into Go Bhaksha. So we have become Go Bhakshak. Not we, when I mean to say in general, the public. We know all here, we don't have that. But after all these rituals, what did do Yashoda? I mean, after all these rituals, then Yashoda took Krishna into his lap and then fed him with the milk, and then Krishna fell asleep. So Srila Prabhupada writes that, he says that, when a child sleeps comfortably after drinking the mother's milk, then one must understand that the child is fit and fine. Here all mothers are sitting, probably they will understand very well this, that, when you feel that your child is safe. So Mother Yashoda felt that kind of peace and solace within it. On the other hand, Nanda Baba, who had actually started, when he started from there, he reached Gokula, and when he saw such a big mountain-like body, he felt that, he has lost his way. Probably I've come to some wrong address. Maybe this is not my home. But some going further, then he could see his Gokul Vasis. Oh, all, Ye Prabhu, O Prabhu, we call it. So, that way he could see them, and then he heard. Then they came running to Nanda Maharaja and then explained him what all things have happened. And after listening to the entire story, he was just waiting, what happened to my Krishna? And when they said in the end that Krishna is safe and he is in Yashoda's lap, then Nanda Maharaja also breathed his sigh of relief. He also got peace and solace. So then later all Gokulvasis and everybody is asked Nanda Maharaja what we have to do with this huge body, because 20 kilometers long huge body. Nanda Maharaja then asked them, because he was the king, then he asked them to bring about thousands of axes. Bring thousands of axes, and then they cut the body of the Putana and they cremated Putana in n number of pyres. Because it's 20 kilometers long body, you may have to have one body itself 6 feet, you need one pyre. So like that, n number of pyres were used and she was cremated. The good thing here that was, when you have the cremation, generally there is a bad smell which comes out. But here, instead of bad smell, bad odor, a fresh smell. Fresh smell was coming, which was the smell of an agru. Agru is a product, which is used in preparing the agarbattis, the incense sticks. So that was coming. The incense stick smell was coming out of Putana's body. So Parikshit Maharaj was again embezzled. He said, and he asked Shukdev Goswami, how is it possible that, a demoness who has been always eating meat, blood, drinking blood, having alcohol, all kinds of sin, and how can her body get converted into a smell which is coming out of the the incense stick smell? So Lord Krishna then Sukadeva Goswami explains that, no matter whatever sinner you are, once you are touched by Krishna, you become transcendental and pure. So Putana was touched by Krishna while drinking the milk and the life force. So she became transcendental and pure. So this is also again clarified by, this is also said by Arjuna in the 10th chapter. Yes, 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Pavitram Paramam Bhavan. Arjuna says to Krishna that you are Pavitram Paramam and Bhavam. You are Pavitram and Paramam. So even the sinner of the sinners becomes pure if he is touched by Krishna. So this is Krishna. Okay, leave about Krishna. Krishna is anyway pure. But even we think, even if anyone just bathes in the holy water of Ganga, which is emerging out of the Lord's feet, he also gets purified. This is also important. The Ganga, which is coming out of the Lord's feet, if one takes a bath in that, he also gets purified, because wherever Ganga flows, in whatever land it flows, whatever product it flows, so it purifies that. So even if a sewage water, if it gets mixed with Ganga, it becomes Ganga Jal. Such is the potency of Ganga Jal, which is coming out of the Lord's lotus feet. So actually there is no difference between him and his form. Okay, there is no difference between him and his name. That's the reason for Kali Yuga Nama Chintamani Krishna Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha Purna Shuddho Nitya Mukto Abhinatvanam Namino Abhinatvanam Namino Abhinatvanam Namino. So just by associating with the name, a sinner gets rid of his sin. So this is also one of the lessons, very important lesson, which we can take in. That is the reason we say associated with the name of Krishna. So you will one day get pure. Maybe we are impure now, but over a period, a day would come, then we would become pure by when we start reducing our Nama Aparad and all those, we would come to Nama Ba stage and all those, and then we would start getting purer. So then Parikshit Maharaj again asked her, what is the quality of this demoness Putana that the Supreme Lord gave her this position of mother? That means it's okay, we understand, okay, she had some desire and Krishna relieved her. So, but what was the quality that, she was given this such a high exalted position of the mother? So Shukdev Goswami replies that Putana had three qualities, and we will briefly discuss the three qualities. And what are they? First was Putana came to Nanda Maharaja's house walking on foot, walking on the barefoot, okay, to see Krishna. So though she came with an intention to kill Krishna, even though she came with an intention to kill Krishna, still Krishna, elevated her. Krishna appreciates this, Krishna appreciates that, Putana at least made an effort to reach out to him. So if you don't make an endeavor, then there is no chance that you would get the mercy. So therefore, Krishna gives this mercy. Damodar Leela, we are all very much aware, and it is very much coming soon, in coming 2 months. So you know the reason of the 2 fingers falling short in Damodar Leela. First one is the endeavor, and the second one is the mercy of the Lord. So once you do the endeavor, you get the mercy of the Lord. So here, Putana had done the endeavor of coming to see Krishna, and Krishna had given the mercy. So we can also avail this mercy by just walking to the temple, or also walking to the Dham of Krishna. Okay, this is also Dham. We are sitting under Radha Bhairaneshwar, and this is also Dham for us. So when you come walking here, so you also becomes eligible to that mercy. That doesn't mean that, tomorrow start coming walking. It's very hot sun here. You can walk up the stairs and come to meet Krishna. So this was the first. The second one is, although it is not necessary, the second reason, although it is not necessary, but Krishna saw that Putana had come to him wearing a tilaka on the forehead. So tilaka is considered as a ornament of a Vaishnava. So Vaishnava's ornament, if you wear a tilak, it is a Vaishnava's ornament. So it is called Urdhva Pounder Tilak, the tilak which is facing upwards with the U shape. So what does this U shape mean? This U shape is the lotus feet of the Lord, and the below mark which we make in the form of leaf is the Tulsi Patra. So the Tulsi Patra is offered at the Lord's lotus feet. So Tulsi Patra कृष्ण के चरणों पे, ये जो यू मार्क है तिलक का, ये कृष्ण के चरण है, और उनके नीचे ये तुलसी मार्क है. So and this is made up of what? It is made up of Gopi Chandana. So Gopi Chandan is what? Gopi Chandan is obtained from the river bed. Gopi Talab, you all know, probably it's in Gujarat and all other places also, where gopis in Vrindavan and Mathura and the 16,108 wives of Lord Krishna gave up their life in separation to Krishna in the pool of water. So the mud over that bed is called Gopi Chandan, and we apply that tilaka to get the Govinda Prem. So today science has also proved that by particularly pressing a particular vein, your headache get relieved. So it is said that so many nerves of the body, there are so many nerves in your body. Actually, if you open up all the nerves and when you join to each other, it will encircle the entire earth. So many nerves exist in your body. So these nerves all together conglomerate, that is, they come at a focal point, which is your forehead. So when you apply the tilaka and you apply the pressure point, then your that area gets relieved and you can be yourself healthy. So this is one of the scientific reasons, or they say, but for us, we are interested only in Krishna Prema. So we not only apply to our forehead, we apply to all other our body parts also. So it helps us to attain the Krishna Prema. In fact, in Srimad Bhagavatam, Yamaraja has passed a resolution in the 6th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam that, "O Yamadutas, please bring to me those jivas who do not wear tilak." And how would you bring them? By pulling them to the rope of Yamapasha and whipping them. But do not do the mistake of bringing those jivas who apply tilaka on their forehead. Else, I will not be responsible. Such is the importance of tilaka. So this is one of the, again, 11th reasons. So Putana had come wearing a kantimala in her neck. That is now coming to third point. She had worn a kantimala. So Krishna becomes very pleased when he sees devotees with a kantimala. Hanumanji once reached Lanka to find Sita Mata. He could not find Sita Mata anywhere. Then by his vision, he could see a tulsi plant in front of a palatial bungalow. Then he said, "Lanka Nishichar Nikar Nivasa Iha Kaha Sajjan Karabasa." Lanka is a place of Nishichar. Nishichar is the men who actually who belong to the abode of demons. Those who are actually called as night lifers, who begin their day in the night and sleep during the daytime. So Nishichar. So all the Rakshasas are into that category. So it applies to those kind of people. Of course, apart from that, it also applies to us also, who just goes on to look at the phone in the late of the night without any reason, just pressing their thumbs on the Facebooks, on the WhatsApp and everything or whatnot. So, of course, if you're connecting that also through Krishna, then it is fine. But that is also one of the reasons. So, by looking at the Tulsi plant represented sage, gentlemen. And Vidur, we know it was the place of Vibhishana, where actually Hanuman could see the Tulsi plant. So Tulsidas says that if you have do not have a Tulsi plant at your home, then that home is as good as a crematorium. And Krishna also does not accept any bhoga offering without a Tulsi patra. Similarly, if we do not accept to wear Tulsi, then Krishna may not accept us. Therefore, wearing Tulsi kantimala around your leg, it makes you pure. All your inputs are pure and all your outputs are also pure. So what is your input? Input is prasadam and output is your vani. So whatever comes out of your mouth, that is also pure, and whatever goes inside is also pure. Prasadam and vani. So without kantimala, the position of human being is like that of the street dog, who does not have the owner and is captured by municipality men by the knotted rope. And we also know that the Yamadutas were given the order that, those who wear the tilaka, please don't bring them. And apart from that, Yamaraja also said that, if they see kantimala in the neck of any jiva, they would say this is beyond our scope. Like any income tax person verifying your receipts, and then he says, this is taxable, this is vatable, this is not vatable, this is out of scope. So when he sees a kantimala on the jiva, this jiva is out of our scope. So they will have to go off, because that scope comes under Vishnu Duta. So Vishnu Dutas have to come and collect that jiva. So Putana had worn that kantimala, and because of that also she was delivered by Krishna and promoted to Vaikuntha planet. So wearing a kantimala is also a qualification, and that's also a very good point which we can learn. So Bhakti Vinod Thakura, in the end, our Parampara Acharya explains the Siddhant of this Leela, entire Leela. So it's a very small Leela, but then Bhakti Vinod Thakur has explained the Siddhant. in the Kali Yuga, there may be hypocritical people like Putana who are taking a disguised form of a sadhu and misleading or robbing the entire world. So Putana came in the disguise of a gopi, and we may also find such kind of disguised people. We may come across some kind of bogus gurus, some kind of disguised gurus who are not authorized, who do not have any background, and their only motto is sense gratification and just extract whatever is material from the devotees. So we have to be very careful with such background persons. We cannot just make bogus gurus as our advisors, and otherwise what will happen? We will be doomed. There will be nothing actually, we will be doomed. Therefore, by using your intelligence, you have to differentiate that who is good, who is authorized and who is unauthorized, and then decide and then choose. So accept a genuine spiritual master or guru who is in the disciplic succession from the bona fide parampara. So this is the lesson once again from the thing we earned. So Radhashtami is coming on 14th, and Radharani, as we all know, is the internal potency of Lord Krishna and who is filled by Krishna Prema. So when the mercy of that potency is bestowed on the living entity, he can develop love for Godhead, and thus he can attain the highest pleasure. And then that same person who has attained can distribute this Krishna Prema to others. So His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada has introduced this process of chanting in the Western countries, and it is spreading all over the world. The chanting, he says, is exactly like a cry of a child for his mother's presence. Mother is Hara, Srimati Radharani, and she helps the devotee to achieve the Lord, who is the Father. By Father's, she helps to achieve the Father's grace, and the Lord reveals himself to the devotee who chants the mantra sincerely. So this Srila Prabhupada is telling. So the spiritual master, he is the representative of Srimati Radharani, and he plays an important role in training all his disciples in such a way that they can become free from the bondage of material consciousness and engage themselves in devotional service, and thus develop a pure love for Godhead. So in this way, we have almost completed the teaching, the lessons, the Deliverance of Putana topic subject. Just with a summary recap, I'll close the topic. So today we have understood the essence of hearing the Putana Vadakatha, which we call it as Deliverance of Putana. Putana being killed, actually she was delivered. So what was the essence? Essence was what? We get Govinda Labate Ratim. Investing time in hearing childhood pastimes of Krishna gives attachment for Govinda, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, and last 45-50 minutes, you have been investing your time in hearing the childhood pastimes only. So definitely Govinde Lavate Ratim. Then we started off with Nanda Maharaja walking back to Gokula after meeting Vasudeva and Devaki, and he was contemplating whether his son is safe. And then we heard the pastime of Putana. How did she appear? She came through sky. She changed her disguise and she entered the Gokul. She then saw Krishna, and we saw all the reasons why Krishna and what were her characteristics. Who was she in the previous life? So all those things we had seen. And apart from that, we also took a precise note on that, instead of Putana getting killed, the mystery was that Putana was delivered and promoted to the Vaikuntha Loka. And we had discussed about the 13 lessons which we had from this pastimes, which we could gather. So what are those 13? Devotee has no other race course other than to take the shelter of the Lord at every step. Second is, wherever the name of the Supreme Lord are being chanted, the demonic power does not work there. Third, we should also inculcate such bhava of Vrajvasis with equal vision, Pandita Samadarshana. बोलो श्री श्री राधा वैरणेश्वर भगवान की जय, श्री श्री कृष्ण बलराम की जय, श्री श्री गौरंताई भगवान की जय, श्री श्री प्रहलाद नरसिंह देव भगवान की जय, श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. Hare Krishna. So third one is we should inculcate such bhava of equal vision. Fourth one was that Krishna ignores the person with deceitful mentality and never tolerates a Vaishnava aparadh. Fifth one was wherever there is avidya, it cannot stand in front of the vidya. Okay? As soon as there is light, the darkness is dissipated. So Krishna is the ultimate truth, and that is the true vidya. Sixth one was our eternal relationship with Krishna is Jivera Swarupoy Krishna Rantidas, and this relationship can be established by serving Krishna, by having his darshan, making an endeavor to get his mercy. Then Lord Shiva, who drank poison, also gives us inspiration that we also have to drink poison in our life. That is one of the seventh lesson. Then eighth lesson was that we should not, why should we not surrender to Krishna? We also saw the example of Vidur Maharaj, where when Krishna had demonstrated the highest level of mercy of granting Putana, Putana had displayed the wickedness, but Lord showered his complete mercy. Then the ninth lesson was Bhagavatam gives us an indication that how important the cow is in our Vedic civilization. And Dham Yatras, walking to the temple, we are eligible to get Krishna's mercy. So that is covered before also. Importance of wearing a tilaka, and the Amaraja's resolution that people who wear tilaka should not be brought to me, but if you bring by mistake, then I am not responsible. Then also the importance of Kantimala, that we had understood the scope, that is, devotees are beyond the scope of Yamaduta's jurisdiction, who wears the tilak, and who does not wear the tilak come under the jurisdiction of Yamadutas. Then accepting genuine bona fide spiritual master. So we'll have to be aware of all the bogus gurus and choose the guru in a disciplic succession. So these are the lessons which we can learn from the deliverance of Putana. Hare Krishna. With this, I will end my discourse here. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam Mahapurana ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gurudev Maharaj ki jai, Bolo Shri Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol Hari.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. It was such a wonderful, nice deliverance. We have heard so many times these past times, but every time we learn so many things new. Every time it's new. As if this is the first time I'm hearing. It looks like. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
When I was preparing this, I also felt the same thing, Prabhu. As if I said, I'm reading this for the first time, or what? Hare Krishna.
Hare Prabhuji, just one small thought came in my mind. This is the first time I'm thinking of like this. We hear the story of how Naradaji, he was trying to change his form as a gopi and trying to take part in the Raslila. And again, Lakshmi Mata also trying to change his form as a gopi. And I think once Lord Shiva also trying for that. But yes, none of them, I think they were not able to get it, or I think they were dipped into the kunda, then they got it. But how come the Putana, she was a demon, she got the form of a gopi there when she entered into the dance?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, with my limited knowledge, I will try to explain, but again, if something is to be added, probably Sumudra Prabhu is here, probably he can add. Prabhu, like when you say, how could she obtain the form of a gopi? That's what, if I understood your question rightly, your question is that,
yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
How did she obtain the form of a gopi? Prabhu, yeah, this was the reason why precisely, like, when she had come from the Akash Marga as a Khechari, what she could see was, probably I didn't spell out this, all the Rajvasis were talking about Krishna only. That, he's so beautiful, he's so mysterious, he's so this thing. So she became inquisitive. What is this mysteriousness? I need to know. And for that, she changed as a disguise, Prabhu. What happens is, others may not understand. Of course, Vrindavan Vasis are very pure. They could have easily understood. But the bhava was presented, that they also saw Putana also in form of a Lakshmi. So she changed her disguise, Prabhu. It's not that, she wanted to become an gopi, but to approach Krishna, she had to come in the form of a gopi, because if she would have come in that witch form, probably the whole intent of giving the poison to Krishna by giving him the milk would have not been possible, probably. That's what I understand, and that is the reason why actually she took a form of a disguised form, so that people can get fooled around and come. So fooling around, even today we see many of our if you go to India, you will have so many Babajis who just even in the holy cities, they keep smoking ganja, they keep smoking hookah and all those, and then they say we are already at the liberated stage. So to demonstrate that, you will find across such kind of persons who are all bogus, you will have to be aware of this. So when that is the reason why Lord allowed to play that role also, because, and as I said, she had the two intention, that I wanted to become mother of that child, as well as I wanted to kill that child. So both those purposes were supposed to be solved. So unless all other Brajvasis were misled, probably it would have not been possible for Putana to enter. And probably that is the reason, with my limited understanding, Prabhu, I may be wrong, but senior devotees are sitting here, can question probably, Prabhu, because this is the first time, and actually I would like to, you can add, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Or Vardagopal, Prabhu.
I will, yes, Prabhu. No problem. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu. I understand. Any other devotees would like to add anything? Otherwise, we'll go for the next program.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, on behalf of ISKCON Bahrain, we would like to thank His Grace Premamaya Gopesh Prabhuji for a wonderful session with a short notice. Hare Krishna. So we will just chant one time Hare Krishna Mahamandra for Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Jugalvit Mataji, are you ready, Mataji, for the video show?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, as announced, we will have now the old memories video show.
Yes, here also there is a delay. Prasadam is going on, so we can, yes, we are not late.
We will do the announcement at the end of the show.
This is fun. Okay.
Dear Krishna and Balram, you are both all powerful. You can kill many demons. But today, we are so hungry and this is disturbing us. Can I know something for our hunger, please, Krishna?
Yes, Krishna, we are all very hungry.
Oh, my stomach is growling, Krishna. I see laddus everywhere. My dear friends, please go to the house of the Brahmanas nearby. They are now engaged in performing Vedic sacrifices, desiring to go to the heavenly planets. All of you, please go to them. These Brahmanas are not Vaishnavas. They cannot even chant our names Krishna and Balrama. They are very busy in chanting the Vedic hymns. Although the purpose of Vedic knowledge is to find me. But because they are not attracted by the names of Krishna and Balrama, you had better not ask them for anything in my name. Better ask for some charity in the name of Balrama. If you utter the name of Balrama, they may prefer to give in charity to a Kshatriya rather than to me, because I am only a Vaishya. let's all go. Yeah, let's go.
Start Om Yena Adide Srimanam Nayati Prajapati Vishnu Mahate Saubhagaya Tena Aham Asye Srimanam Nayami.
O earthly gods, kindly hear us. We are ordered by Krishna and Balarama to come to you. We hope you know them both very well, and we wish you all good fortune.
Krishna and Balrama are tending the cows nearby, and we have accompanied them. We have come to ask for some food from you.
You are all Brahmanas and knowers of religious principles. And if you think that you should give us charity, then give us some food, and we shall all eat along with Krishna and Balaram. You are the most respectable Brahmanas within the human society, and you are expected to know all the principle of religious procedure. Lord Vishnu, as Krishna and Balaram are waiting, and you should immediately deliver whatever food you have in your stock.
But the Brahmanas, who were simply sacrificial minded, could not understand the dictation of the transcendental devotees of the Lord. They did not care for them, and they refused to speak to the boys. The Brahmanas were very much interested in the comforts of the material body and in elevation to the higher planetary residences called the Svargavasa. They are completely unable to understand the position of Krishna.
Krishna, the Brahmanas did not give us food.
In fact, they did not even look at us.
They just ignored us, Krishna. What to do? We did not get any food there, Krishna.
Don't be sorry for being refused by the Brahmanas, because that is the way of begging. One who is engaged in collecting or begging should not think that he will be successful everywhere. He may be unsuccessful in some places, but that should not be cause for disappointment.
So go again, but this time to the wives of those Brahmins engaged in sacrifices. These wives are my great devotees. They are always absorbed in thinking of us. Go there and ask for some food in my name and the name of Balram, and I am sure that they will deliver you as much food as you desire.
Okay, Krishna. Hey, Madhumangal, come, let's go to Brahmana Patnis. Your hunger will be satisfied there only. Come.
Dear mothers, please accept our humble obeisances. Lord Krishna and Balarama are nearby. They have come here with the cows, and we have come here under the instructions. All of us are very hungry. Therefore, we have come to you for some food. Please give us something to eat for Krishna, Balarama, and ourselves.
Krishna, Balram, Krishna and Balaram? We want to see them. Come, let us go. Krishna and Balaram are very hungry. So let us take all the preparations and leave at once to meet the beloved Lord of our hearts. Yes, hurry up.
Yatra purve sadhya santi devaha. Om Namo Shri Vasudevaya.
Don't go.
Krishna, Balarama, where are you? Krishna, Balarama.
The woman entered the forest of Vrindavan on the bank of Yamuna. Within that forest, they saw Krishna and Balaram engaged in tending the cows along with their very affectionate boyfriends. The Brahmana's wives saw Krishna with a blackish complexion, wearing a garment that glittered like gold. He wore a nice garland of forest flowers and a peacock feather on his head. He was also painted with the minerals found in Vrindavan, and he looked exactly like a dancing actor on a theatrical stage. They saw him resting one hand on the shoulder of his friend, and in his other hand he was holding a lotus flower. His ears were decorated with lilies. He wore marks of tilaka, and he was smiling charmingly. With their very eyes, the wives of Brahmanas saw the Supreme Personality of Godhead, of whom they had heard so much, who was so dear to them, and in whom their minds were always absorbed. Now they saw him eye to eye, face to face, and Krishna entered within their hearts through their eyes. Within themselves, they began to embrace Krishna to their heart's content, and the distress of separation was mitigated immediately.
My dear wives of the Brahmanas, you are all very fortunate and are welcome here. I, as the super soul living in all your hearts, can understand your minds. You have come to me despite all the protests of your relatives, fathers, husbands, and brothers, and despite all the duties of household affairs. You came just to see me, who is your life and soul. This complete surrender unto me is the most auspicious path for you because I am the supreme object of your love. My dear wives of the Brahmanas, you can now return to your homes, engage yourselves in sacrificial activities and in the service of your husbands and household affairs, so that your husbands will be pleased with you and the sacrifice which they have begun will be properly executed. After all, your husbands are householders, and without your help, how can they execute their prescribed duties?
Dear Lord, this sort of instruction does not befit you. Your eternal promise is that you will always protect your devotees, and now you must fulfill this promise.
Anyone who comes and surrenders unto you never goes back to the conditioned life of material existence. We expect that you will now fulfill your promise.
Krishna, we have surrendered unto your lotus feet, which are covered by tulsi leaves. So, we have no desire to give up the shelter of your lotus feet and return to the company of our so-called relatives, friends, and society. And what shall we do if we return to home?
Our husbands, brothers, fathers, sons, mothers, and friends will no longer accept us at home because we have already left them all. Krishna, therefore, we have no shelter to return to. Please, therefore, do not ask us to return home, but arrange for our stay under your lotus feet so that we can eternally live under your protection.
My dear wives of the Brahmanas, rest assured that your husbands will not neglect you on your return, nor will your brothers, sons, or fathers refuse to accept you, because you are my pure devotees. Not only your relatives, but also people in general, as well as the demigods, will be satisfied with you. Transcendental love for me does not depend upon bodily connection, but anyone whose mind is always absorbed in me will surely, very soon, come to me for my eternal association.
मध्यां भूमिर्दिशश्चोत्रात् तथा लोकागम् अकल्पयन् वेदाहमेतं पुरुषमहान्तम् आदित्यवर्णं तमसस्तु पारे सर्वाणि रूपाणि विचित्य धीरः नामानि कृत्वा विवदन् यदास्ते दाता पुरस्तात् यमुदा जहार चक्रप्रविद्वान् प्रदिशश्च तस्रः त्वमेवं विद्वानमृतैः भवति नान्यपन्थायनाय विद्यते यज्ञेन यज्ञमयजं स देवाः तानि धर्माणि प्रतिमान्यासन् ते अनाकं महिमानत्र सुप्तन्ते यत्र पूर्वे साध्या सन्ति देवाः ॐ नमो श्री वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो श्री भगवते पुरुषोत्तमाय ॐ नमो नारायणाय
ॐ पूर्णमद पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते।
O Prabhus, we have committed great sinful activities in refusing food to Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. To hell with our being born Brahmanas. To hell with our performing great sacrifices and observing all the rules and regulations, for we have not developed transcendental loving service to Krishna.
The external energy of Krishna is so strong that it can create illusion to bewilder even the greatest mystic yogi. Although we expert Brahmanas are considered to be the teachers of all other sections of human society, we also have been illusioned by the external energy.
Just see how fortunate these women are. They have so devotedly dedicated their lives to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, that they could easily do what is ordinarily so difficult. They gave up their family connections, which are just like a dark well for the continuation of material miseries.
They have surpassed all of us in firm faith and devotion unto Krishna. Although we are considered to be masters in all purificatory processes, we did not actually know what their goal is, because we are too much attached to the materialistic way of life.
Even though we were reminded of Krishna and Balram by the cowherd boys, we disregarded them. We now think that the Supreme Personality of Godhead simply played a trick of mercy on us by sending his friends to beg food from us.
Yes, otherwise he had no need to send them. He could have satisfied their hunger then and there just by willing to do so. The goddess of fortune is always engaged in his service.
Because he has appeared as a child in the dynasty of the Yadus, we were so foolish that we could not understand that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But on the other hand, we are very proud because we have such exalted wives who have developed pure transcendental service of the Lord without being shackled by our rigid opposition.
Let us therefore offer our respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. We pray to the Lord to be kind enough to excuse us. We ignored his orders without knowing his transcendental glories.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Mataji. It was a nice, wonderful selection, suitable selection for today's topic. Thank you very much. So we request all our devotees, please inform all your friends and relatives and everyone to join this Zoom link. Tomorrow the class continues. The class tomorrow is going to be a new concept. Tomorrow the youth are going to give the class. It is going to be a relay preaching. So there are going to be 3 youths. They are going to preach continuously. So the topic is how the devotees, they face the difficulties in their life. So 3 youth devotees, they will be taking the class continuously. So it will be very interesting. So we request all our devotees, please join tomorrow for a Sandhya